Hello and welcome to Four Wales See Wales with me, Mel Owen.
Me, Robin Morgan.
And me, Will Hayward.
How are we?
She's back.
She's back.
Out the gate, I need to clear some air.
Sure.
Right?
Fuck, what did we actually say about that?
There's many things.
Let's reflect, shall we? Because, right, last week, I went on a podcast that hasn't come out yet, and we were talking about female safety, the female experience, and I was, we were talking all about this, and I was giving it, you got to remember, there are some really good guys out there, and, every week, I do a podcast with these guys called Robin and Will, and every week I come away and go, do you know what, there are some brilliant guys out there, and then I listen to the podcast, and you guys are saying that I wear coats made of dogs. I was dumbfounded.
You haven't denied it.
No, look, if anyone's Labrador's gone missing, well, that's your problem, right?
Is that why you've worn something which is very clearly not made of dogs today?
Yes, exactly. I've got to say,
unless it was a shaved dog.
I had an image then to you trying to chat up girls in bars and I like your dress. Is it not made of dog? It was a real line into.
Well, I actually have a dog allergy, so I do actually ask.
No, I was furious, and
so did we basically confirm it is all men?
Yes, basically, and I put a little addendum. I sent them a voice note. I was like, and then nonsense, actually, and then that was at the end.
You said we're nonsense.
I was like, I take back what I said. They're actually nonsense, as it turns out. But
I mean, that's a pretty nuclear response to. She sometimes wears fur. To
no,
pedos.
You said dogs. You can have I skin puppies. I think nonsense is just about right.
I think that's fighting fire with fire.
Yeah, you do you. I do, however, have some little gifts for you. An olive branch.
Citizen's arrest.
These are handcuffs.
Oh, Mel.
I got you some Easter little bunnies.
That's so sweet.
I did get myself one because I'd have FOMO. But I thought
Producer Daryl just sitting there.
I thought it was his.
Yeah.
But I thought they can be Robin, Mel, and Will.
That's really sweet.
Oh. Yeah.
When do they go
welcome.
off? August. I was thinking we could keep them as little mascots.
There's little ASMR, they've got little bells on.
Sponsor us, Lint, you cowards. We only talk about nonsense a little bit on the podcast. Is that good for the brand?
Nice.
But yes, that was my olive branch. But I'm glad to be back with you somewhat.
We missed you. We missed you. It turned into a bit of a bro pod.
A little bit of a bro pod. Hey, that's fine. It's fine. I really enjoyed it actually.
Yeah. Oh, bless you.
Yeah. How have you guys been?
I did my garden yesterday. Bad news. Frogs haven't spawned.
Oh no! Would you have expected it? Yes, spring.
It would have been happened by now.
Oh no!
I even went to a local nature reserve to check if they'd had frog spawn, and they have. So
it happens at different times for different people. Will it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I get embarrassed in the changing rooms.
Yeah.
No, I think it might be because I've planted a shrub nearby, which might have affected sunlight to the pond.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Well, we're very sorry to hear about your lack of spawn.
Fuck off.
No, that is bad actually, especially after all the effort you went.
I know.
Like Moses himself.
Yeah.
To get them to your house. Mm-hmm. Well, sorry. Is there anything you can do you think, to make them a little late bloomers?
What I need to establish is it because the frogs didn't want to spawn it, or is it because there's no frogs left? Because I haven't seen any this spring. I had a little search yesterday.
Do you think you might give Yola a call? Yola.
Yeah. Yola Williams just come there. Yeah, I can try. I mean, he
get
might
on board.
Yeah, he might bring some frogs.
Yeah, exactly. He'll have some advice, won't he?
I think so. Do you just shout it and he appears?
Yola.
Yeah.
It'll be a horn, won't it? You'll do like...
Is it a bugle?
A bugle, yes.
He's got one of those good, soft Welsh accents, hasn't he?
He's got a lovely one, yeah.
Yeah. You can sound very wise and melodic in a certain Welsh accent.
Yes, you can. Yeah, somebody this week actually said to me, I sound so much more Welsh in person than I do on TV or the podcast.
Really?
Yeah, apparently so. And I don't hate it.
How would you describe your Welsh accent?
I thought mine was very neutral because I'm from Aberystwyth. There's only certain words I think are very Welsh, but we're not Gog and we're not Cardiff.
Do you have what's your, because obviously it's quite hard for me as a non-Welsh speaker to know this, what's your accent in Welsh? Can someone tell you're from Aber?
Because I think it's so neutral. I
Right.
think, yeah.
Interesting.
But I have the mix of vocabulary. So where we are, we'd have the odd little Gog word in, but then the other Carmarthen and the South words as well. And also my dad is Gog. So I had, when I was learning Welsh, I had the odd little Gog tidbit.
Or smottering.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Lovely.
Quite good.
That was very good, yeah. Yeah, you've got a very neutral accent as well.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
sound like my mum sounds,
Right, okay.
but my dad's from the Rhondda, but never picked any of that up.
No, does he have that accent? The Rhondda
Yeah, he's
accent?
proper like.
Oh,
yeah,
is he?
yeah.
Love
Oh, really?
that. Yeah.
So I think he's incredibly. What's the phrase? Unproud of me having no. But I think that I do think I.
Does
always
he
had-
hate your lack of distinct?
No,
Rhondda
I don't
accent?
think he hates it.
Hate is what
I think,
people would. Let's
yeah,
not-
yeah.
Let's not plan that little silly.
Let's not do that.
Have you failed him?
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, maybe if he'd spoken to me more as a child, I would have picked it. No, I'm painting him in a very bad light. He's got a wonderful Welsh accent, but I often thought I wasn't Welsh enough, probably because I sound like this compared to him. If we're really unpicking stuff.
Yeah.
Therapy bell.
Once I said to my dad, just in passing, like didn't even mean anything by it.
Yeah.
I just said in passing as a teenager, I was like, oh, you didn't really speak to me till I was about 14, and then went about my day. My dad still remembers that now. Like he still brings it up. Like it really cut deep, and I feel really bad because like he did, like he was, actually, he was actually quite good.
Language of the farm.
Yeah, the language of the farm. Not the he's not a pubby guy.
Is he not?
Never been a pubby guy. Not a big drinker.
Interesting.
Not a lad's lad. You know. But yeah, I really cut.
We should get him on the bro pod.
On the
Next time you're missing, we can stand
Big
him.
Mel, because he's called Mel as well.
There we go.
Yeah, Melvin.
I love
Really?
that.
Yeah, we'll do 2 Mel Owens in one house.
So yeah, it could be Will, Rob, and Mel.
Mel, yeah,
Yeah.
it still would be.
And we just never address it.
So, and the impression that you guys were doing of my voice would kind of be his anyway. So, yeah.
Oh, fucking hell, sorry about that.
It's all right, guys. It's fine. I cried a little bit, but it's all good.
Should we talk about Welsh politics?
Yeah.
Before we talk about Welsh politics, we should talk about Welsh politics mugs.
We got sent a picture.
We've gone global.
We got sent a picture from a different hemisphere. Am I saying a hemisphere?
what, Will?
A hemisphere. Hemisphere.
Yeah.
Hemisphere.
That
Yeah,
does
like,
sound different.
as global, like literally as far away as we could be.
Yeah. And the picture was of the For Wales, See Wales mug in front of the Sydney Opera House.
Yes. Where we belong. Imagine if we did a live show.
Yeah, we should put one on sale.
Yeah.
Just for a really humbling experience.
And the tickets would have to be $6,000 each to make it worth it.
For Wales, See New South Wales.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that.
He's always on.
Yeah, it's a
always
curse,
on.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
that
very
would
annoying.
be. Imagine talking about, the Senedd from the Sydney Opera House.
When he, or it was a he, I think, who sent it, when they drink out of their mug, do you think it goes down their throat the opposite way?
Interesting.
Like swirls the opposite way?
No.
Physics.
But
It's
yeah.
so cool though, wasn't it?
It's
Yeah.
super cool, and so if you have a For Wales, See Wales mug, which you can get on the merch shop,
Where can they see the merch shop, producer Daryl?
in the podcast notes,
In the podcast notes.
And link in our social bios as well.
Yes.
yes.
Yes, our little link trees on the bios.
Oh yeah, if you want one, go to those links or just wish upon a falling star, and you will get one. And then we send us a picture of where you use your mug.
Yeah.
can
Do
do
you know
that.
what?
Yeah.
Whoever sends us the best For Wales, See Wales merch in a location will get a 6-month free newsletter subscription.
No way.
Free?
That could cost you £24.
Well,
in today's money, you can't afford not to get that prize.
No, knowledge is power.
Okay, so we'll get lots of mug shots. We'll go through it.
Mug shots.
Mug shots. That's the feature.
Yeah.
I speak in
mug
features
shots.
now.
All right, okay, send us your
Yeah.
best mugshot.
I will say we've gone out on a high bar. The Sydney Opera House is
Yeah,
the one
yeah.
to beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very terms and conditions. He smashed that, isn't he? Because
Yeah.
nothing's going to beat Australia, so he gets to keep all of his
No.
subscriptions.
It would, we're talking Katy Perry needs to put it on the fucking moon now.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think they've got any chance of beating that.
Yeah, fair enough. And speaking of our listeners, should we get to it?
Yeah. I spoke last week to Labour MS Mick Anthony. Have you heard of Mick Anthony?
I'm aware of his work. His surname ends with a W, which I quite enjoy.
Yeah, edgy.
Yeah.
So he is a Labour MS. He has had several roles in Welsh Government. He was the Attorney General, which was during Brexit, which was actually a really big role at the time, because there's a lot of how is this even legally going to work, where are powers going to go. He has also been the Minister for the Constitution, which is kind of whatever you want to make of that role, really.
It's a cool job title.
Yeah, it is.
That's
to be
mint.
fair,
Yeah, considering the Constitution is unwritten.
Yeah.
Which does make it even better somehow.
Yeah, it's great on a business card.
Yeah, definitely.
What does it mean? No one knows.
It could be what you want it to be.
Whatever you want it to mean.
So he was also one of the 3 members of the Welsh Government who resigned, triggering Vaughan Gething to go.
Some big Mick energy there.
Big Mick energy.
Big Mick energy. You know he's going to love that.
Do you think so?
We could say awful things now and he'd just be so on a high from Big Mick energy.
Something new for the business card.
Yeah.
So I was talking to him, and he's really interested because obviously that role in the Constitution. He was a lawyer. He's actually Ukrainian, like part Ukrainian, and he goes out to Ukraine quite a lot and takes donations out to them. So he's been out quite a few times.
Bibles?
Not Bibles. I think they have enough.
Yeah.
I think they have enough.
Someone tell Darren.
I'd like to. He won't talk to me at the moment.
Really?
I know.
Oh, I can't imagine why.
The thing is, like, I spend a little tangent. I spend most of my time holding to account Welsh Labour. The Welsh Tories get off so easy. The only times they get scrutinised is when they do fucking dumb stuff, like have second jobs or go to prayer meetings when they should be voting.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to be pretty shit to matter as little as the Welsh Conservatives and get my attention.
Yeah.
And they manage it.
As the official opposition, technically, had to be that shit.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly, yeah. But he's having a field day, isn't he, at the moment, with the sad passing of the late Pope.
I think he might be the new Pope.
Oh, God, don't. He's there looking out for the white smoke, isn't he?
Well, I guarantee you he would probably rather be Pope than be,
Leader of the
First
Welsh
Minister.
Conservatives.
Because, I mean, he ran to be an MP in the last general election. He's not...
Oh, yeah,
like,
of course
you could argue
he
he's
did.
not 100% dedicated to the Senate. Anyway, Mick Anthony. But seriously, Darren, if you do want to come on the pod, you're very welcome.
Absolutely.
I'll bring
Like,
you a
genuinely,
rabbit.
like...
Yeah.
I was speaking to Mick Anthony in Pontypridd.
Very strong.
Thank you, Diolch yn fawr. We spoke about lots of stuff. I was actually speaking to him for research for my book, but I was asking about, because we've talked recently about how members of Welsh Labour are a bit frustrated about the seeming lack of support from UK Labour, and this is what he said. We currently have a Labour Party where the structure and staffing and resources are more centralised, in my view, than they have ever been. It's more centralised because the focus has been on Westminster and the whole power structure has been directed in that way. The staff at the Welsh Labour office are appointed by head office. Essentially, we don't have proper devolution of a party structure, so Welsh Labour isn't a thing in and of itself.
Wow.
It's quite strong, isn't it?
That is, yeah. It's quite a bold statement to make, given the time that we're in as well, things coming up, a little bit of disagreement that we've already covered.
Yeah.
Do you think people are pissed off at him for saying it?
I think the people who were pissed off at him are probably already pissed off because...
Just generally.
Just generally hate him. No, they'll be annoyed because there is... People within UK Labour know that MSs and the members of Welsh Labour, even though apparently it's not technically a thing, who are rumbling, who are grumbling, who are frustrated at the lack of action. He went on to say that Welsh Labour should have the ability within Wales to do things that are totally different politically in many cases from UK Labour. It should be about the will to basically say, in standing up for Wales, we will do things differently if needed. To be honest, I then was like, so how does this two governments at either side of the M4 work? Because how does
The rhetoric has changed completely, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, of course, if you ask anybody, do you think governments should work together? They will say, yes, of course they should. But it depends whether the two governments are actually thinking the same thing. What's clearly beginning to come across now is that two governments working together means Westminster deciding something and us going along with it. And I think there is now beginning to create real resentment.
May I ask, when, that structure there, Welsh Labour, not that it exists, but like Labour, sorry, we keep having to caveat this, but, is that the same in other parties?
So
or how does it compare?
Welsh Labour is much more in existence than the Welsh Conservatives.
Sure.
There's like a board and there's like an office, whereas ultimately the Welsh Conservatives isn't really even a thing. They don't even really have a leader. They have a leader of the Conservatives in the Senedd. In terms of Welsh Labour, there are structures in place. There is a board. There is a head office. They have a separate comm structure. Realistically, they can't go far beyond what the UK line is. It just doesn't work in any meaningful sense for them to do that. It's true, all of their staff are the Welsh office are appointed by head office. So realistically, who do you work for?
Yeah.
You know, who's paying your bills? So it is a frustration. I mean, obviously, Plaid have... the Greens are a bit different, actually, because the Greens are so decentralised anyway. Like, they have such a decentralised structure that...
It's more of a vibe, isn't it?
Yeah, a circle.
Yeah. Who's got the conch today? You, fine. You're in charge. It's fine.
And obviously, Plaid are Wales-based.
Yes,
They have a Westminster leader in Liz Savile-Roberts, but it's
Wales focused.
Yeah, exactly. Like, their leader can't not be a member of the Senedd.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Which is, and because obviously Darina Corn was originally going to run for the in the general election before everything happened with Adam Price.
Right. Okay.
So, but then obviously he couldn't because he was leader.
Yeah.
And what about the privately owned company Reform UK? What's their vibe?
They don't have a structure, do they?
I think
It's a pyramid scheme, right?
Yes, exactly.
it is basically a pyramid scheme. Basically, if you buy the dusters and sponges in bulk, you can then sell them at a profit, and the early bird will get the worm.
It has Avon vibes, doesn't it? Reform
It really
UK.
does. Yeah.
Except for they only sell white concealer.
Sure, yeah.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, to be fair, like most stores in the UK. Yeah. There we go. That's for another episode.
Sponsor us, Boots.
So the
Bitch.
sponsor is bitch.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
They know. The people at Boots know.
There you go.
I'm sure everyone wants to associate their brand with us right now.
Absolutely.
Today we're sponsored by the Vatican.
Yeah.
So, because I asked him about things like the changes to welfare, which we've said are going to hit Wales quite a lot more, and he was really quite strong on it. He said, clearly there are things that have been unacceptable. Having a major announcement on welfare where there is no analysis available on the impact it'll have on Welsh citizens is unacceptable. Those citizens will then become dependent more on the Welsh Government to try and support them in their communities. Something may not be devolved, but the consequences of making a decision are often devolved. It's an absolute scandal, and that shouldn't be happening. I think there are a lot of very, very angry people around who basically believe that this is not good enough and we can't go on like this.
Wow. Bit of discord.
Bit of discord. So
An unideal time for there to be discord for them, I would say.
And isn't it interesting that Welsh Government are basically saying, we will have to make up for those changes that our own party have made, which is pretty damning. Like, the UK government have made a decision which is going to massively negatively affect many people in Wales. Therefore, we're going to have to step up and spend money that we would have spent elsewhere to defend that, to alleviate the changes of that.
Ahead of 2026 elections, though, we're going to hear more of this, aren't we? We're going to hear more of, we are not the UK Labour Party, we are not Westminster government, we are our own party, this is why you should vote for us. There's going to be as much separation as possible, surely. There's
not going to be Keir Starmer on the leaflets.
No.
And Keir Starmer was all over the leaflets before the general election. Labour campaigning in Wales didn't have Vaughan Gethin on it. Didn't put him anywhere near it, didn't want to put him up for interviews. Now we're coming up for the Senedd election, they're not going to put Keir Starmer anywhere near it. They also did a very similar thing with Jeremy Corbyn, didn't put him anywhere near it either.
That's interesting. I assume Plaid Cymru, if they got anything about them, would come out swinging on that basis and remind people that they are one party, they're the same party, you know?
Yeah.
Do you think that there is a bit of flapping and panicking as to how badly this could go for Labour next year, and that is kind of causing these tensions between people and causing people to actually speak out and disagree with like party line?
Yeah, I think definitely. I think part of the advantage is he's stepping down. Mick Antonu's stepping down. Like a third of the Welsh Labour group are stepping down.
Yeah.
None of the Plaid lot are.
Well, it says a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is there a date set for the 2026 election? I know it's May, and it'll be a Thursday in May, but is it going to be like the second Thursday in May?
It's the 7th of May.
We should do something on the 7th of May this year.
An anniversary.
Because, it's like 1 year out.
Yeah.
We should drop something, actually. We'll have a little thing. We'll put our heads together because we'll be 1 year out. And what we could do is like our 1 year out predictions.
Yeah.
And I think we need to make them quite neat. Not like, so-and-so is going to win a majority. I want numbers. I want names.
Should we put some stakes into this prediction as well?
Yeah, what do you fancy? I'm up for a wager. I love gambling.
Do you gamble? Am I okay today?
What's going on, babe?
Do you gamble?
Do you gamble?
Do you gamble?
Timothy Chalamet? Do you Chalamet? I Chalamet.
No, I would like to Chalamet.
Gamble? For Wales,
Oh God, I'm so tired.
What's going on? Are you at home with the kids over Easter?
Easter, I've had 4 days off work for the first time in like my entire life.
Is this who you actually are?
It's chaotic, isn't it? I'm held together by just a ball of stress
Yes.
where I go from meeting to meeting and recording to
Now
recording.
that you're chilled, you're falling apart,
This
mate.
is it, mate. I need the stress. I need it.
Yes.
But yes, I would like to Chalamet. And we should put some gamblés on. We should put some bets on, I think, for our predictions. I don't know.
But amongst each other, right? We don't need to get bookies involved. It's a bit
No,
crabby.
I think.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a bit Craig Williams. It's not.
Um,
It's not us,
what
is
if
it?
What if the winner gets?
Yeah, we don't want to be Craig Williams.
No.
We want to be the milkman. So,
Yeah, exactly.
so the loser has to down a pint of milk.
Yeah.
Like Joey from Friends.
I like the idea of having a prize for the winner and a forfeit.
That's
For
fine.
the, like-
Yes, I love forfeits. I love these kind of games. Yes.
Okay, great.
I think the loser has to stand outside the Senate campaigning for something absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'll have been up all night.
Yeah, as will we. And you know what? Good, because when you inevitably lose, you'll have to stand outside, having not slept, having to campaign to bring back hanging.
The thing is, if Reform have won, they might do it.
Yeah, exactly. Let's not encourage.
Everyone walking past. Well done, congrats, Will. Well done,
You
mate.
did it.
Will gets it. I mean, let's be honest. The first person up against the wall would be me.
Yeah,
it's
true.
true.
Yeah, me. I'm right. Yeah. We'd
With our
give,
light blue rosettes on. Yeah.
we'd give nice eulogies.
Hangay.
Honey.
Hang
So,
Make it chic.
what are we asking people for? We're asking people for suggestions for the forfeit.
The forfeit of what? Yes.
We have to campaign for outside the Senate.
Outside the Senate, and we'll put the top four of our choices to an audience poll.
Yeah.
But what we need to do is work out the parameters of. Are we doing seats predictions?
I think so, yeah. Let's sort this out. So we'll do seat predictions, so maybe like names in each seat, or like parties even. Like, let's just say parties.
Fucking hell, I can't even pronounce all the seats.
Well, that's just why I'm here.
Yeah.
And
That's why you're going to get hung.
This is escalated. So far, I've been called a nonce and told I'm going to be hung.
Justice
I'm
works.
back.
Mel's back, bitch.
Yeah, we'll sort out what it is that we're going to predict, and I think that will be a really good episode a year out.
Do you know what I like about the last 5 minutes of this podcast?
Yeah.
We've done our planning meeting that we do before the podcast, during the podcast. Fantastic.
With the listeners, we bring you on the journey.
This is it.
We're taking you behind the curtain, and it is disgusting.
Scrubby.
What we'll do then now, talking of listeners, shall we move on and talk about some audience questions that we've had?
Yes.
We've had, over the last kind of 3 or 4 months, a hell of a lot of audience questions. And because I'm only one man, I haven't actually managed to go through them all. Well, I've gone through almost all of them now. So we've got a list, we've got everything, we've got all the, and we're going to kind of come to them sporadically. So this first one comes from Debbie Dean.
Ooh, great
Strong name.
name.
Debbie Dean.
Yeah.
She sent us, hi team, I'm a huge fan of the show and I love that I learn something every week. Maybe not this
Aw.
week so far, Debbie.
No, we've learned about you.
Yeah.
I live in Newport but work in London, and so I find myself invested in politics on both sides of the border. The Senate elections are coming up next year, and the Reform Party seems to be having a worrying amount of traction, and we might be faced with our first non-Labour government since devolution. As much as I do not want to see them in power, do you think a Reform government in Wales could spur on the right in the rest of the UK, or provide an opportunity for them to crash and burn before the next election? So if there was to be a Reform government, would it be good for Reform more widely, or would it be bad for them more widely?
That's such a good
It's
question.
a really
It's a
good
very
question, isn't
Debbie
it?
Dean.
Not to repeat her question back at her, but you know, the two options are this could give them momentum. If Reform in England can go, look, we've already done it in Wales. Like, this isn't a pipe dream. We can do it. Like, you're not throwing your vote away with us. We can actually form a government. And they take that. And the other side of it is they actually have to do all the shit that they don't want to actually do, which is like, you know, govern.
Sure.
And they crash and burn. And let's be honest, there's going to be a lot of infighting, and they're going to kill themselves off. Like, eventually, whatever happens, they're going to kill themselves off. Whether that's now or in 10 years, I don't know. But, you know, which one of those is most likely to happen? And I'm too scared to gamble.
Gamble. They'd hate that.
Yeah, they would.
Say the English word. I don't think that it will affect their UK chances in a negative way. I think if they get in here, I think in a very similar way that people won't look at Wales. That they'll in the same way that the Tories used to bash Labour with look at the NHS in this is what a Labour government will do to an NHS. That was thrown around tons in Westminster, and I just don't think people will make the comparison.
Stick?
I don't think so. I think if Reform have a majority government in the Senedd, and then for the next however many years Labour go, well, this is what you'll get, this level of chaos. I just don't think people make the connection. I really, really don't. I don't think that the Middle England voter gives a shit about what happens in a Scottish government, in a Welsh government, in a Northern Irish government. I don't think it affects them. I think they'll just bat it away.
Good point.
And I think there will be infighting 100%. And I think people have short-term memories, and I think people will kind of want to protest, vote in the general election. But who knows? I think if something happens to Farage in terms of like his reputation goes to shit, that's the only way that I think Reform are going to, because it is a one-man party, which is as bleak as it sounds.
The thing is, the general election is so far out, and Keir Starmer is not exactly surging to the left at the moment. So he has the opportunity to kind of quieten the anger of those potential Reform voters still before the next general election, if he continues on this slightly right of centre path. So, a lot could happen before the next general election.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
the
the fact that there was like a petition for calling for a new general election, like 2 months after Starmer had won a whopping landslide.
Give me a fucking minute.
Yeah, exactly. Can you just stop for a second? I don't even know where I sit yet. I haven't even got the Wi-Fi sorted. OpenReach haven't come in 2 weeks. I don't think, regardless of how well Reform do, I think the perfect scenario for them would be to be the official opposition. They can still play the we're speaking for the people, look at the people in charge, still not delivering for you. They can be the noisy neighbour. And then Farage can use that as a look how well we've done without having to govern and govern and actually make decisions and potentially get things wrong, because when you are the government, then you are going to get criticised, which is completely fair. Yeah. So I don't think they would want it, really.
When I saw this email come in, I started trying to work out what that would even look like in Wales. If you had a Reform-led government in Wales, it would be so different in terms of just the dynamic. So you would have, obviously, all the stuff around waiting lists, that starts to stick to them.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of how they would have to have a Reform First Minister. That wouldn't be Nigel Farage. So there would be a Reform leader who is the leader of a nation who isn't him, which would be a really, really strange dynamic. Like, who are they taking orders from? Imagine being head of the government but subservient to Nigel Farage.
You can't spell Reform Party without RT. It's going to be RT, baby!
Oh,
God. It's not.
But then,
sorry,
imagine how things even work with UK Labour. When extra money comes to Wales, that'd be Reform asking Labour for more money. How would that even work? Because obviously you can't not fund Wales because of Reform are here.
Yeah, you sort of have to treat them like a governing party.
I mean, ultimately, Wales's funding shouldn't be fucking dictated on who's governing anyway. It should be governed. It should be based on what Wales needs. They would be so. They would be such vandals, I think, in terms of so many things. Like, so many things in Wales would just be got rid of. There would.
What do you think will be got rid of?
Well, I think things like the Future Generations Commissioner are gone. Now, I think you can make a fairly strong case that the Future Generations Act and Commissioner have been completely useless. But I think it's in principle could be quite good. It could be good.
Yeah, the intention is right. It's the execution that's been a little bit bad.
Do they come in and they suddenly raise all the speed limits? Do all the speed limits go back to 30 the next day? It'd be such a...
That's going to be on their manifesto, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. Absolutely.
Have they announced that yet?
Their pledges.
They've announced fucking nothing, have they? But can you imagine they introduce 30 miles an hour limit and then the next time a kid is killed? That's like, you did this.
Yes,
The attention they would get. Like, it would really, really be sad, I think, if Wales only got attention because they elected those guys. I mean, it would be such a huge thing. I actually think it's very hard to be anti establishment when you suddenly are the establishment.
Yeah, sure.
Exactly. Are they going to start shutting down the Senate when it's the only form of government they have?
But yeah, I mean, they wouldn't. We've seen from the EU, they'll ride any gravy train to death.
Look, but we don't know how they're going to govern, do we? We don't know whether they're going to be these people who don't turn up to votes. And
do they have literally the capacity to do it? Do you know what I mean? Like, can they actually govern? That's the big question mark here, you know?
Yeah.
Well, the only way they would be able to govern, I mean, there is no way that 50% of people in Wales vote Reform. Well, there's no way that 50% of people who vote in Wales vote Reform, which is what they'd need for a majority. So the only way, the Greens, Labour, Plaid, Lib Dems have all ruled out joining with them. So they're going to be, if there is a Reform-led government, it's going to be with the Tories. So it's how, like, the dynamics within that work, because the Tories would be a much more, although they'd be a junior partner, would be more cohesive, just because the people in it have been politicians for a while and will have a party machinery around them. The amount of resources that Reform would get, though, like if you ended up with 30 MSs, each MS has 3 or 4 members of staff.
Yeah.
Suddenly, what would that be? 6? Well, that'd be 120 members of staff. If they have the instrument, if they have the machinery of a state behind them.
This is the thing. If they have all of that, or everything that goes along with being a governing party, you just can't imagine it, you know?
I think it will hurt them I think it will hurt them with reasonable people because it will be a fucking shit show. It'd be carnage. I think it would help them with their base because if you look at Trump has objectively been awful since he's been in office. Like the economy, the increases in prices, alienating all their allies. But because
killed the Pope.
Yeah.
JD.
Yeah, for God's sake. Yeah. But all of his kind of core are like, he's doing amazing things. Look at these things they've done because they're only going to absorb that knowledge through their own prism, aren't they?
What they want to hear. Yeah. And also when you do that thing of attacking the media, it's really easy to then go, I know all these bad news stories about us, but this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to brainwash you. You know?
It's gaslighting, isn't it?
It's so gaslighting 101. It is.
You'd see a mass exodus from the civil service within Wales as well. Because if you are a member of the civil service, you've only ever worked under a left of centre government. In Wales.
That's a very big
and
shift.
Suddenly you're going to have to be enacting the policies of a very different kind of
And do you think
politics.
people will jump ship just from a moral point of view?
I think a lot would. I know I've spoken to people within it who said...
And also, like, maybe not even for morals, but just for, like, do I want to work? Do I want to be the last rat on the Titanic? You know? Were there rats on the Titanic? Probably.
Almost certainly.
They had to be. I just want to pick up really quickly on what you said, Robin, about bashing the Welsh NHS and how that is something that, you know, that's there now and then. I remember once I was at a fundraising dinner and Priti Patel was the guest speaker, like the speaker of honour and everything. Wow. And side note, one of the most beautiful people I've ever seen on the outside, maybe not so much on the inside.
She's like quite striking looking, isn't she?
She's stunning.
Isn't she 1 foot tall?
She is so tiny. I felt like a oak tree next to her, honestly. Like, she was so tiny. But what was I've never seen somebody lose a room quicker than she did. Bear in mind, this was a room full of like staffers and all of that. And she basically came in, she was doing her speech, I think, let's say between starter and mains, I think maybe. And she bashed the NHS in Wales. And basically somebody who I think was like a county councillor stood up and was like, do you realise what you do? Every time you and Westminster bash the Welsh NHS, you're bashing our home, you're bashing our country. We are still Welsh, remember that. And she went back and was like, but it's shit in Wales. It's embarrassing for you. Like she is harsh, I will say that in a manner. And she went back and honestly, the room turned on her.
Really?
Genuinely. I've never seen anything like
it. And they were all Welsh Tories?
Yeah.
Wow.
And she left very quickly after dinner. There was no handshaking, any of that. She had her family with her. And it was, I mean, genuinely, I thought bread rolls were going to go flying. Like, people kept standing up and she kept being like, right, can I just have another question? Like, something else.
Wow.
And the next person was like, no, we need to talk about the NHS thing. It was so embarrassing.
I mean, I've done my ass at corporates as well.
But it was terrible from people who should love you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I mean, that does show how wherever you sit on the political spectrum, people who think of themselves as Welsh,
yes,
that when they might not be proactive in like caring and campaigning for their own country.
Yeah.
But if someone stands up and says Wales is shit, people react.
Exactly, and they really did.
Which is why Reform haven't said they want to abolish devolution.
Because they know they'd lose those people.
Yeah, because Welsh Conservative
hard thing to
voters
defend.
would
Yeah.
as we've seen with like data and stuff, would probably regard themselves as British, but also Welsh. It's not like a completely Britishness and, and ignoring the Welsh element.
They just
to
don't
it.
want to fight an election on, I don't think Wales should have representation.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, really, secondhand embarrassment. I hate it so much. I was like hiding under a table. It was so
Was it that
bad.
cringy?
Yeah, it was so bad.
I love it. I love a bad best man speech. I love it.
Yeah.
What's
And they think it's their moment as well.
100%.
Yeah.
They've gone into it really strong, and they're going to like roast their friend, and then because they in the WhatsApps it's be like, oh, you're going to mention this, and then they mention it, and then just it's a room of like lovely people who want to support this beautiful couple, and it does.
And you lead by calling the bride a slag.
Yeah. And you
And
have
it's
not
just-
read the room.
Yeah, and it's brutal, and I'm just like,
Not the easy looks, is it?
should have got me to write you some jokes.
I'm my brother's best man this summer. And
Are you?
Do you want me to?
Yeah, get
Could you write me some jokes?
Yeah.
Do you remember where a few months ago we were talking about the Newport Transport Bridge?
Yes.
And
I
we
do.
invited people to nominate some of their favourite obscure art around Wales. So a guy has got in touch. Now, they haven't done any initials, but their name's Andrew Davis.
Oh, great.
Okay.
I bet he's furious with his name right now.
Yeah.
You would, wouldn't you? Yeah.
He said, Shall I? Fab episode as usual. I fucking love him. This is how you get read out on the podcast. In response to the art in Wales, my nomination would be The Guardian in Six Bells Abertillery. Do you guys know this?
No.
It commemorates the Six Bells mine disaster, but as a piece of art, it's stunning and well worth a mention.
So what is it? Is it a figure of a person?
It's a 20-metre tall statue
That's a big boy.
overlooking...
Wow. Parc Ar Ail Griffin.
And it's to commemorate the Six Bells mining disaster. So it's really cool. So in 1960, there was an underground explosion at the Six Bells Colliery, which killed 45 miners. It was caused by ignition of fire damp, where the coal dust in the air ignited and the explosion spread almost entirely through the mine. 45 of the 48 men who worked there were killed. 45 of the... I mean, there's a documentary to be done on the remaining 3. I think that's just horrible, and it reminds you of... I mean, this is all well within living memory.
Yeah, and how dangerous it was.
But the Guardian is this 20-metre high statue, and it's made with 20,000 horizontal strips of this weathering steel, which is steel which can kind of rust.
Yeah.
And so it's rusty, but because it's made of all these strips of steel, from certain angles it looks transparent.
Wow.
It's
No
really
way.
I need to go up and see this.
it's really striking. So there's the picture of like the forearm with like the strips and stuff.
Yes.
It's absolutely... I hadn't heard of it.
It's only up the road. I might go for a cheeky wander and go and have a look at it.
Yeah, it was. If anyone sends a picture of a mug in front of the...
Oh, if he's holding the mug.
If he holds the
Got to
mug.
get a big mug, like a Sports Direct mug.
But the ages of each of the 45 victims appear on the steel plates surrounding the plinth. And Prince Charles visited the statue back in 2011. Presumably his fingers matched the size of the statue.
Trying
the statue.
to get his ring size based on that.
But that's really cool, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's
Such
beautiful.
a great recommendation, actually.
No, we should check it out.
Yeah. So thank you for that, Andrew Davis. But
Yeah, that wouldn't have been arty. He wouldn't have said anything so wholesome.
I think that's it for this week. Any more for any more?
No, I've loved being back, guys.
It's been lovely to
It's
have
been
you
really
back.
nice to have you back.
And thank you
you.
for these. Very sweet
It's
of you.
fair.
Saves us a massive effort of having to make up shit about you.
Yeah, well, I won't be missing another one, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I find it comes quite naturally to me, so it's fine.
It was no effort
Well,
at all.
I'm-
It was a pleasure.
I'm terrified to not be here because
Oh, you
I mean, you
should
guys
be.
are fucking horrible when I am here.
There was a point last week where Will was potentially going to be a bit late, and I was a bit worried it was going to be a solo podcast.
Oh, solo pod.
What the fuck would I have talked about?
The whole thing.
Yeah.
And then just disagreeing with
basic.
yourself.
You're
Yeah.
basic. You're
You're
basic.
Yeah, basic. I'm basic.
Yeah, beat a car.
Yeah. So is that all I bring to it? Isn't it? Yeah,
And we
pretty
love it.
much.
It's very valuable.
Thank you.
Yes. No, it's been great. Has anybody got anything to plug?
I've got a Machynlleth comedy festival show
Yes.
called Melodrama.
Do you?
Yeah.
So do I.
What time is it? Where is it?
So it's the Sunday night, and it is at 8 o'clock on the rugby club. So it's about first bank holiday.
I love that venue
It's
as well.
so lovely,
That's a good one,
isn't
Matt.
it? Yeah, so first bank holiday in May. We're both going to be in Machynlleth.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a good... I'm so excited.
I wish I was going to Machynlleth.
You should come, mate.
Yeah, you should come. The weather's supposed to be gorgeous. It's the year every single year on the Saturday because we take
beautiful.
the family out. We go on to site, and every single Saturday, me and Jen go, "Oh, we didn't bring sun cream," because the weather's so good consistently every
What weekend
Saturday.
is it?
So it's May Day bank holiday weekend, the first weekend in May. So not when's this going out on the Thursday? So it's next weekend.
Oh,
Yeah.
so like the 3rd and 4th.
Correct.
Yes,
So it's the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but there's like music there.
Yeah. You and I have a gig together on the Sunday morning.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, in the Mach Arena.
In the Mach Arena.
Yes, but it's going to be great. What else have you got on there?
So I'm doing a solo show, like a work in progress of the new tour, which is very blessed, sold out.
Yes,
I'm doing a
brilliant.
family show, like a kids show, that Saturday morning.
Yes.
And I'm doing a dating show with our good friend Essilt Sears
Yes.
on the Friday night, where we get couples to have first dates live on stage, and me and Essilt are basically the devil and the angel on their shoulders, trying to dictate what
Which are you?
happens. I'm just the vibes, Matt. No, I'm very much the angel.
Yeah, how are the two of you? I love it. And Essex, would agree with that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, she's
Yeah.
chaotic. She's messy.
Yeah.
She's a messy woman.
I can't wait to come and watch that. I'm going to hide in the back,
Yeah.
but I can't wait to watch that. Yes.
Time to head up. I am running to be the new Pope.
Brilliant.
Congratulations.
I like hats.
You like cats?
Hats.
Hats.
Yeah, hat. He likes a hat.
He does like a hat, doesn't
Yeah.
he?
The first Pope in a shacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the off chance I don't become the Pope, my main revenue is from the Will Hayward newsletter. So subscribe to that. But hopefully in a few months I will be
Poping it up.
poping it up.
Pope Will. Has there ever been a... No, there won't have been a Pope Will before, will there?
Well, sure, there's maybe a William.
Will they
I
give
don't
you
think I'd be pious. I don't think I'm very pious.
will they give you a new name?
Yeah, you get a new name.
So
when you
you'll
become
be the Pope formerly known as Will.
Pope. Yeah, like Prince.
Yeah.
What would you pope it up?
Well, it's always like Benedict or Pius or
John Paul was a big one. They go for some Beatles, but never. Although there's never been a Pope Ringo.
Oh, never a woman, I'm assuming?
Oh no.
Oh, God.
I wouldn't
sorry.
have thought so.
No.
oh,
Was there a female Pope?
Pope Joan.
Pope Joan?
Pope Joan.
That was, a man,
Joan.
that was a man in a wig, though, wasn't it?
Joan.
Look it up.
they
Pope
burned
Joan. Has there been a film about this?
There has to... Not yet. This is the role I was born to play.
Pope Joan.
I think I want to be Pope Urban.
Urban.
Yeah. Be like Stormzy of the Pope.
Oh God, no,
Vatican.
I hate it when, right, they say
Didn't like
things
that.
like, oh, this Romeo and Juliet, but it's urban, and all it means is there's black
Black.
people in it, right?
Just say
And that's
black.
exactly-
Or
just
like,
say, yeah,
or the
black Romeo and
background to the
Juliet.
play is just graffiti.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And someone comes in going wagwan, like that's
Yeah,
literally
yeah.
all it is.
It's
All right.
that scene on the balcony is actually like an underpass. There's
Yeah,
a bridge.
yeah,
so
exactly.
urban, so challenging. It's got Arts Council funding. Fuck off. Fuck off.
Okay, in that case,
I wholeheartedly agree.
in that case, I'm going to be Pope Innocent IV.
Yeah.
Innocent.
Pope White. Pope White, man.
Okay, let's leave it there.
Yeah.
Cool. Who are you?
I'm Robin Morgan.
I'm Owen.
And I'm Pope Innocent III.
Bye.
Bye.